Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. Today I'm sharing the cards I made using Love From Lizi's January 2022 card kit. The theme is Many Thanks. As I'm recording this voiceover, the kit and most of the add-ons are still available. I will have links provided in the description box if you are interested in any of the products I use in this video. I'm going to warn you now, this kit is super shiny. So I do apologize if I blind you from my overhead lights. Doesn't really matter what direction I turn some of these papers, there is just a ton of shine on it. It really is a gorgeous kit, but a little challenging to record a video making the cards. For card design number 1, I have some pattern paper for the background, mostly white, and it has some different stripes on the background, including some gold foil. I'll layer the pattern paper on some silver satin mirror cardstock, and this is one of the add-ons you can purchase. Then I'll layer that piece on some black cardstock. I put my card front onto a card base, and all of my cards in this video are American Standard A2 size, 4¼ inches by 5½ inches. Next, I'll add a large stitch circle die cut. I use some more of the silver mirror cardstock for that. Glued it down using some liquid adhesive. Now I'll start assembling this little gift card pocket, or you could put a little note inside. This is one of the punch outs that's included in the kit. It has all the little score marks. You can fold the pieces down following those little score marks. I'm putting some double-sided tape on the 2 pieces and also a little bit of liquid adhesive. That'll just ensure it all stays together. And I'll fold all those pieces together, and you can see that fun little pocket that it creates. The front of the pocket has some lines where you could add a sentiment, but I'll be using the opposite side. I want to have the flap in the front. I'm putting liquid adhesive on the back, and I'll adhere it onto my card, and I decided to have it at a slight angle. Then to embellish the front, where it's really the back of that pocket, I'm adding a stitched heart die cut, and I use some Pearlescent cardstock, and this is another add-on that you can purchase, the Pearlescent cardstock bundle. Also put this sentiment just for you. This is another punch out. And then you can pop your little note or gift card inside the pocket and secure it using a piece of washi tape. Then to finish off the card, I'll add a few of the gem stickers that are included in the kit. There is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For the other card, I used a different pocket. For card design number 2, I'm using a card sketch for inspiration. This is Sugar Pea Designs Sugar Sketch number 38. For the background, I have some white with gold polka dot paper. I added a strip of this off-white or cream colored pearlescent cardstock in the center. Then I'm using some of the gold glitter sway peel-offs and putting them along the very edge of that pearlescent cardstock. The sway peel-offs are wavy on one side and straight on the other. They also have the 3 different sizes, and I'm using the smallest size for my card. I'll just trim off the extra. Many times when I use peel-offs, I wrap the ends around the back, but with the glitter peel-offs, they're a little bit thicker, so I prefer to just trim them at the edge. I'll layer this panel on some black cardstock. I generally add an additional 1/8 inch for my cardstock layers, but for this card, it's an additional 1/4 inch. So that white and gold polka dot paper is 4 inches by 5¼ inches. On this sketch, there's those 3 thin lines toward the lower portion. You could use twine or ribbon. I'll be using peel-offs. But I decided not to put the peel-offs directly onto the paper. Instead, I'm adding it on some white cardstock first. I'm using the black peel-offs in the Pinstripe style, and this is the widest width. Just adding 3 of them on this strip of white cardstock. I'll trim off the extra. Before I adhere to the card, I'll also add some scrap cardstock pieces to the right and left where it goes over that pearlescent cardstock, and that'll keep everything at the same level. I'll glue down those scrap pieces of cardstock, making sure they're not too wide. And I'll flip over this piece, put some more liquid adhesive on the back, and adhere it to the lower area of the card. For the 3 small circles that are indicated on the sketch, I'll be using one of the punch outs. It has the word hello. And then the other 2, I used a circle die and cut them out from one of the pattern papers. I'll put the sentiment in the center, and I did put some foam squares on the back side to pop those up. The kit includes a ton of pattern paper and also coordinating die cut pieces. But if that's not enough for you, you can also purchase the coordinating bumper pack. That includes more of the pattern paper and also several more sheets of the die cut pieces. Next, I'll add a bow using one of the twines that's included in the kit. This is black and it has some gold thread mixed in. Just hide my bow and I'll put a small glue dot on the back and adhere it to the card. So there is my finished card, and again, I did make 2. I was able to have 2 of that hello sentiment because I do have the bumper pack. For card design number 3, I'm using one of my favorite sketches, and if you watch my videos, you know I've been using it quite a bit lately. It's just a great sketch. This is OWH sketch number 218. And if you are interested in any of the sketches I show in this video, I do share all of that information on my coordinating blog post. That link is provided in the description box, or you can simply head over to KristieMarcotte.com. This is a great sketch to feature a pretty pattern paper, or you could add an image in that smaller rectangle. I like to follow the sketch fairly closely, and I keep it nice and flat. Since I donate a lot of my cards, it's always good to have some without the thick dimension. For this card, I'm using some craft cardstock for the background, and this color is not included in the kit. Lizi's kits always include some cardstock, but I'll bring in additional cardstock since I add a lot of layers to my cards. For the strip across the card, I use some pattern paper that has white and silver foil, and I lined that piece with some black peel-offs. For the sentiment, I've already stamped this out. This is thank you. The stamp set that's included in the kit has 9 different thank you sentiments in different fonts and sizes. I used one of the banner dies that's included in the kit for the sentiment. You can see how that fits perfectly. I layered it on some black cardstock and just trimmed that out. It's about 1/8 of an inch of that matted layer around the sentiment. Then to finish off the card, I'll add a few of the mini circle peel-offs in the black glitter color. And this is the smallest size. So there's my finished card, and again, I did make 2 using this sketch. For card design number 4, I won't be using a card sketch. I have 2 different colors of blue cardstock, and I'm adding a strip of craft cardstock across the card. For a little extra detail, I'll also add a stitched strip border die cut. I cut it out from the same dark blue cardstock and put some double-sided tape on the back to adhere it to the card. Next, I'll add a few Love From Lizi peel-offs in the silver holographic color. This is the pinstripe style, and I'm using the narrowest width. I'll put 1 underneath that blue strip border and 2 more toward the center. Just wrap those ends around the back. Adhere this blue piece of cardstock to the dark blue cardstock. I'm going to put my card front onto a card base. And the blue cardstock is not included in the kit. I really wanted to bring in some additional colors besides just the black, white, silver, and gold. Now I have several different die cut punch outs. One of the tags, I have the sentiment enjoy, and also one of the banners. It does have a little score piece at the very top so you could wrap it around, but I'll be trimming it down so it'll be a little shorter. I attached the tag first, and I did put some scrap pieces of cardstock on the back side to keep it nice and level with all those other layers that I've already attached to the card. For the sentiment, I'll pop this up using some thin foam squares, and I'll adhere it to the right side of the tag. Since these are punch out pieces, sometimes you'll have those tiny little tabs on the edge. I like to use my scissors to trim those off. For For the banner, I'll put that in the upper right-hand corner, and I just went and trimmed that down real quick. Glue it down using some liquid adhesive. Then I'll add some of the white gem stickers, 2 in the lower left-hand corner and 1 to the right of the sentiment. Then I'll also add one of the bows, and this is a white twine with a silver thread. Just adhere that in place underneath the sentiment with a small glue dot. And there is my finished card. Again, I did make 2. For the second card, I used different die cut pieces, and since I didn't have another circle die cut piece with a sentiment, I stamped thank you using one of the sentiment stamps that's included in the kit. For card design number 5, I'm actually using a card sketch, but I forgot to pull it out of my file of sketches. This is OWH sketch number 171, and I will have that pictured over on my coordinating blog post. I cut 3 small strips of this white and silver foil pattern paper. The spots look like an animal print. I layered that on some teal cardstock. Then for the background, I'll be using some craft cardstock, and I decided to add a little bit of white paint splatter to the background. Now most of it will be covered up by the pattern paper, so I was really focusing that splatter along the outside edges. In one of the corners, I did get some large white paint droplets. I wiped those away. I didn't want to wait for it to dry, and I knew I would be covering up that area anyway. So once this piece is all dry, I'm adding a couple of the silver holographic peel-offs to the very lower edge. I have the widest width and also the narrowest width. I'll layer this piece on some teal cardstock. And for this card, that craft background piece is 5 3/8 of an inch by 4 1/8 of an inch. Put my card front onto a card base, then I'll add the pattern paper strips. So you can see how it really covers up most of that background paper. For the sentiment, I used the scallop circle die that's included in the kit and a light teal cardstock. I'll stamp out the sentiment thank you. And the ink color is Daydream by Catherine Pooler. This stamp set also includes a couple of small ink splot images. I want to add just a very light color to the background of that sentiment. So I'm doing a 3rd generation stamping. After inking the stamps, I stamped them off on some scrap cardstock twice, so I end up with a very light color of ink. Then I'll pop up this circle using some thin foam squares. I'll just adhere it to the left side of the card. Then a final finishing touch, I'll add some more of the gem stickers. 2 in the upper right hand corner and 1 in the lower left hand corner. So there's my finished card, and I did make 2 using this sketch. For card design number 6, I have this fun pattern paper for the background. It has a very dark blue color, and then it also has several little kind of look like brush strokes in black, white, and also the silver foil. I cut out a scallop border die cut from some blue cardstock, put some double-sided tape on the back, and adhere it to the top of the pattern paper. Then I'll add a black glitter peel-off. This is the straight style, so they're all the same width. Just put that right above that scallop border. Then I'll layer this panel on some black cardstock. Put my card front onto a card base. And for this card, I am leaving that 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. Then I'll start working on the sentiment. This stamp set in the kit includes 3 different sort of ink splot looking images. So I'm stamping one of them on some white cardstock. I used the Tranquil ink color by Catherine Pooler. And now I'll add the thank you sentiment on top. And I'm using my mini Misty just to make sure I get a good solid impression. And for the thank you, I have the Juniper Mist ink color by Catherine Pooler. I want the very right side of the oval flush to the right side of the card. So I just held it up, flipped over the card, and trimmed off that edge. And I'll be popping this up using some thin foam squares. Final finishing touch, I'll add some of the mini circle peel-offs in the black glitter color. Put 2 underneath the sentiment toward the left and 1 above the sentiment on the right. So there's my finished card, and again I did make 2 using this design. The colors and designs in this kit are perfect for masculine or feminine cards. Now you know I had to make at least 1, maybe 2 pink cards. So card design number 7, we're using some pretty pink cardstock. And this pink cardstock is leftover from last month's December kit. So I cut it out using a scallop rectangle die. Then I'm adding a stitched rectangle die cut to the center, layering all of it on some black cardstock. I love pink, white, and black together. I think it looks so pretty. I'll put my card front onto a card base, and of course right there I ran out of ATG tape. I did have to go and trim down just a little sliver off the bottom of that card base since I could still see some of the white card base showing. Next I used one of the pattern papers. It has all gold on one side of the pattern paper, and then it has a little other design on the other side. I used just the gold, and this is the ribbon die that's included in the kit. So I thought this would be really fun to cut out. Now since this gold pattern paper is fairly thin, you want to be really light on the liquid adhesive. I'm also using the sentiment die. This is Queen for the Day, and the scallop circle die. So first I cut out that scallop from some black cardstock. Then I taped on the sentiment die so I could get everything nice and straight. Cut it out from some pink cardstock as well. I put some double-sided tape on the back side of that scallop circle. Now I'll inlay all of the letters. And you need to have both the pink and also the black since you have to add the center to some of the letters like the Q and the O. Using my tweezers and also an embellishment wand to pick up some of those teeny tiny little pieces. I love the contrast with the pink and that black. So one final piece inside the center of the A. Now I can remove the release paper on the back side. I will put some liquid adhesive in the areas where I didn't have the double-sided tape just to make sure it adheres nicely. And I think my glue was sitting there too long. I needed to go and push my pin in the tip again. So I'll adhere it to the center of the ribbon. I think that's fun. You could add an image or a different sentiment in the center of the ribbon as well. Next, I'll add one of the mini circle peel-offs to the center of the flowers. And this is the pink iridescent glitter color. And they fit really nicely in the center of all those little flower pieces. I also decided to add a little bit of sparkle to the words using a clear glitter brush from scrapbook.com. So it's very subtle, but it does have that pretty sparkle look. So there's my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For card design number 8, this card features the rest of the pattern paper from the previous card. So the one side just had solid gold, and then the other side has this fun speckled look with the gold and then a black or charcoal color. I'm adding a couple of peel-offs to the left side of the card. These are the clear silver mirror peel-offs using the medium and also the narrowest width. Put some ATG tape on the back of this piece and layer it on some black cardstock. Then I'll put my card front onto a card base. And this card won't have any of that white card base showing. In fact, it's a fairly dark colored card. It has all that charcoal and the gold foil finish. And even the sentiment is on the darker side. Next, I'll add one of the punch out bows. So there's 2 different pieces. You can use the same patterns together or you could mix and match. I decided to use the same colors. So this is a lighter gray with some of the gold foil spots. I used the end of my paintbrush to help curl the bow. And the kit does include some brads. Since there already is a little hole that goes through the bow, it's easy to just attach everything together with a small brad. Then I put the bow on the left side of the card on top of those 3 peel-offs. For this sentiment, I'm using one of the die cut punch outs. It has the sentiment "for you," and I did pop it up using some foam dimension. Then to finish off the card, I put a few of the gem stickers. So there's my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For this second card, I think the sentiment is a little more visible since it does have white behind the word "thank you." For card design number 9, here's that next card with the pink. The card sketch is from OWH. This is number 155. I have some pink cardstock for the background, and I layered it on some black pearlescent cardstock. Put my card front onto a card base, leaving that 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. I'm adding a stitched oval die cut, and I used one of the vellums that's included in the kit for the oval. Since you don't want the adhesive to show through on the vellum, I only put liquid adhesive behind those silver polka dots. That's the nice thing about the vellum in the kit. There's lots of areas where you can easily add adhesive without it showing on the front. For a little extra detail, I'm adding a silver frame using the clear silver mirror peel-offs. This is the narrowest width. Just putting one along the inside edge of the pink cardstock. I do have the ends going off the edge, but I'll use my craft knife and miter those corners together and just remove those extra little pieces. Then I'll press those corners in place just to make sure those peel-offs won't come off later. This is an easy technique to add just a little extra detail to your card. It works great on pattern paper as well, especially a pretty pattern paper you don't want to cut down real small. So there is that pretty frame. Now for the sentiment, I'll add it on this white cardstock piece. I did cut a fishtail on the left side. I'll be using the stickers that are included in the kit. And these are just as shiny as all the pattern paper. For my card, I'm using just the solid silver letters. So spelling out the word hugs. And I will pop this up using some foam dimension. So I'll adhere it to the card more toward the left side, leaving some area on the right so I can add 2 pink hearts. And I used some pink pearlescent cardstock. This was from one of Love From Lizi's add-ons. The current one I don't believe has any pink though, but I always save all my little scraps. I'll put some foam dimension on just the areas of the hearts that aren't touching that sentiment piece. And then same for that smaller heart. Then to finish off the card, I'll use some of the black gem stickers. 2 in the upper left-hand corner and 1 underneath the hearts. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. With all of the shine from the silver and gold in this kit, you can always bring in some solid colors to help tame down that shininess. Now onto my final card design. This is number 10. I have some more of the pattern paper vellum. So this one's really easy to put adhesive on the back since there's only those tiny little areas of the actual vellum. I layered that piece on some black cardstock. The card sketch is from OWH. This is number 184. Using some craft cardstock for the background. I find that the craft color works really well with this kit. Added some pattern paper with the charcoal and also the gold polka dots. And then that white and gold polka dot strip is one of the punch out pieces included in the kit. I'll line that background pattern paper using some of the black peel-offs. Just wrap those ends around the back and layer this piece on some black cardstock. Then I'll put my card front onto a card base, leaving that 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. Now before I attach that gold vellum piece, I will put some scrap cardstock pieces on the right and left side where it goes over that white and gold polka dot strip. Then I'll put liquid adhesive on the back and adhere it to the card. Now most of that vellum will be covered up by the sentiment. This sketch does indicate a circle, but I'll be adding an oval. I'm using another ink splotch image, this time using the Tiara color by Catherine Pooler. Then I'll stamp the sentiment thank you using some Versamark ink. I'll glue down the oval using some liquid adhesive. And then one final finishing touch, adding some more of the mini circle peel-offs, this time in the black color and also the smallest size. I put 3 in the upper left-hand corner. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this sketch. Now here's a quick recap of the 20 cards I made using Love From Lizi's January 2022 card kit. The theme is Many Thanks. This kit is packed full of pattern paper and coordinating die cut pieces. It really is a lovely kit. As I'm recording this voiceover, the kit and most of the add-ons are still available, and I will have links provided in the description box if you are interested in any of the products I used in this video. This is a monthly kit, so quantities are always limited. The only way to guarantee receiving a kit is to sign up and subscribe. Love From Lizi always has such fun and unique kits. I look forward to mine every single month. Of course, one of my favorite items included in her kit is her peel-offs. She has such a wide variety of colors and styles available. After making 20 cards, this is everything I still have left over from the kit. 1 full sheet of cardstock. I never did use the gray. Then I have 3 full sheets of the pattern paper, lots of scraps. I still have 2 full sheets of the vellum and then also some scraps. And an amazing amount of the die cut pieces and also the sticker alphabet. And there are 2 different alphabets. I never ended up using any of the tiny letters. Here's the stamp set. Never did use the sequins. I'm not sure why I didn't use those. The peel-offs that are included in the kit. Still have some of the mini brads, the gem stickers. Here are the 5 dies that are included and the rest of the twine. So still lots of products left over. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.